Oh, of course I'm muted. Hi, Laura. But hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to Limical. Welcome to Melby. And Deoxyribo, thank you for the resub. 7 months. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And I think I have sub badges for that far. Hi, Tom. Hello. Welcome in. Good to see everyone. You can't see because I closed that curtain, but maybe you can tell by the lighting. It's still bright out while I'm streaming. Wow, daylight saving time and the arrival of spring. It's great. Like, it's not even sunset yet. It's just straight up sunny. And it's been so sunny and beautiful all day. Hi, Mikey. Hi, Mikey. Oh, thank you for resubscribing as well. That's awesome. And I wasn't here when Deoxyribo resubscribed, so I missed the little alert that I had so much fun making. So thanks for doing it while so I could see it. I'm usually here. I was just up and about around the house during the start screen today. Hi, Dor. Yes, it is a Gilmore Girls shirt. It's a Luke's t-shirt. I forgot when I got this. It was a long time ago. Oh my gosh, and Tom is resubscribing too. Thanks, everyone. I guess it's that time of month, huh? But thank you so much. All three of you, I think, have been subscribed for 7 months, like since I first got affiliate, and that means a lot. So thank you for the resubs. We'll get those going on the sub shelf in just a minute, the spool shelf, as it is. But yeah, Gilmore Girls is great. I am doing well. I'm knocking the microphone a little bit, but I'm doing well. Nice and sunny and kind of warm here today, which is amazing. How's the weather where all of you are? People always make fun of talking about weather as like a not interesting question, but I think that it's fascinating, especially when you were talking to people from around the world. Maybe that's actually part of it, because I feel like it's an older, like the critique of that phrase is an older thing, like from a pre-internet era of like, oh God, are we talking about the weather? How boring. And I guess if you all live in the same place, it arguably is boring. Sometimes that's even interesting. But I think like in the internet age, like it's actually pretty interesting to talk about the weather because you're often talking to people who live in such different places. Like Door's weather, rain and high winds all day. Complete opposite to here. Sorry to hear that though. We are getting a lot of rain the rest of the week. So everyone was outside enjoying today because I think it's gonna be rain and a little bit colder again. Cooled down to 77 near Oakland for Deoxyribo. We heated up to 67 today. Mid 80s. I was recently in Texas, during a heat wave. So it wasn't just warmer because it was Texas, but it was like in the 90s. That was a lot, considering when I left the airport, it was in the 30s. Super warm and sunny for Tom. Ups and downs coming, trying to enjoy it while it's here. That's basically the same here. Yeah, Texas heat wave, no joke. I have an extra 6 degrees on you? Maybe I just had the temperature wrong, Laura. I feel like I looked at my watch at some point and it was 67 because I was sitting outside and I was like, I feel colder than I think I should be for 67. So I guess it's possible. We live a little far away. Without doxing either of us, but it could be possible. 6 degrees. Let's start doing the spool shelf. What am I going to? Let's go here. Yeah. Or we could do this screen. Bam. Got so many subscribers to add to the shelf as well today. That's exciting. Okay, so what do I have? I just have the subscriber. So let's start with that. We'll start with the shelf because that's what's on my needle and that's what just happened. So here we go. And is autofocus gonna, oh yeah, see, autofocus likes to focus on the Nurge logo instead of my pattern sometimes. Okay, so we got first stitch on the shelf for Deoxyribo. Thank you so much for resubscribing. And actually, before I continue, in case we got any new folks lurking around here, I'll just put in the chat what this is, a little warm-up pattern. Autofocus working hard on the Nurge sponsorship, yeah. Okay, Dora says, my grandpa, who doesn't like music, got my partner to play some of the music from the festival I'm going to in June. He found it fascinating and slightly disturbing. What genre of music was that he found fascinating and slightly disturbing? Okay, so that was Deoxyribo's spool shelf stitch. Here is Mikey's. Also, I believe all of you were just resubscribing for a single month, but correct me in the chat if you subscribed for additional months, and I will add even more stitches to the shelf. But thank you, Mikey, for resubscribing, and here we go for Tom's. Yours was for 6 months. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did see that on my end, and then was confused. Oh my gosh, we're gonna add some more for Deoxyribo. Thank you so much for the 6 months. Let me first finish Tom's. Got Tom's resub here. Oh, Deoxyribo, you're gonna help the shelf so much. Tom, thank you for that resub. Let's add 5 more month stitches for Deoxyribo. Very exciting. Making some good progress on this shelf now. We just got to make sure I actually count this. You all might have to help me. So this is number 2 for Deoxyribo. This is number 3. I might not even look at the chat for a minute so I don't forget what I'm counting and doing. It's such a simple task, but I know I'm going to look away and be like, wait, did I count that stitch that I'm halfway through or not? So this is number 4, unless I'm wrong and someone corrects me, but it might be too late with the lag. And this is number 5. And this count is including the first one I did a little bit ago, so this is 5. And we're coming up on number 6. For 6 months, thank you so much, helping to support the channel and also to support the spools on this shelf. I very much appreciate that. Appreciate all of you who subscribe and who follow or just pop in and help make the channel keep going. I lost my train of thought because I looked at the chat. That's what happens. Uncle said didn't send the notification. Yours subscribed this week for 3 months. Let me see. Yeah, that did not show up for me at all, but I trust you and believe you. So let's add 3 more. For the record, I would not. This is not saying everyone should try saying that. I just happen to know Limical personally, so I believe her. I have to rethread the needle. I saw that message right as I took the floss off the needle. It would be a pretty wild scam, but you know, I feel like people scam for all kinds of things that I'm like, why are you even scamming this? Like Reddit karma, that's a big one. Okay, so let's do 3 for Limical here for 3 months. Incredible progress we're having now. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you so much, Limical, for the resubscribing for 3 months. Look how far the shelf is along now. I think like either exactly half. I think we're more than halfway on this shelf. That's very fun. Okay, let's see what you were all talking about while I had to focus on counting. Okay, so Doors Festival, mix of metal and punk. Yeah, that'll definitely get an older person being like, uh-huh. I'm into some punk, and I've been into a little bit metal. Not enough that you should ask me any questions about it, but I have enjoyed it over the years, off and on. Happy Monday to you as well, Joe. Spool shelf's not floating. Very good. Yes. Oh yeah, Sarah, someone already asked, but the audiobook you were reading, The Library of Amerlin by Callan Josephson. That's a tough name to say. Intricate fantasy book, has lots of intrigue and character growth. Okay, so if anyone else is into those kinds of books, you should check out The Library of Amerlin. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that character or place name correctly, but I like anything called The Library of. Only 3 spools on the shelf doing a wicked. Yeah, but then the next one, we got a lot of defying gravity going on. Ah, that book is the first part of a series, so if there's anyone who only reads things when they're completed, maybe avoid that one for now. But alright, let's do the follower spools from the past week. Whoop. I'm just gonna shake the whole set. All American Rejects. Wow, what a throwback. Dirty Little Secret Bird. I know the song Dirty Little Secret so well, but I don't know that I've ever really clocked the bird puns in it. That's interesting. I will say I'm one of those people who's not very good at listening to lyrics. Like, I will somehow have memorized them all without ever having really processed what they're saying, which really gets me in trouble sometimes when I like recommend a song to someone and then it turns out it is entirely inappropriate. So I should get better at that. But here we are. Okay, let's try to secure this away from things. I'm going to attempt it. And then we will thread this floss in my mouth. All American Rejects are still touring? That's cool to know. I think of them as an early 2000s kind of band. I mean, there are also bands from like the 70s that are still touring, so that doesn't mean anything. I just wasn't aware. But anyways, that's a fun thing that Door has coming up. What plans do other folks have for the week or sometime soon? What have you got going on? Any like things you're hoping to do now that springtime is here? I think that I was just checking captions are on. I think most folks who come to these streams are from this hemisphere, like the one where it's about to be spring, not the one where it's about to be fall. But correct me if I'm wrong, because that would be fun. All right, getting started on today's spool. Nice day in Seattle. It is so nice here. I am glad I was able to spend some time outside. Usually on Mondays, I'll do like a workout in the basement, but I was like, it's beautiful and warm. I'm going for a walk outside instead, and that was a fantastic decision that I made. Oh, Mikey, what a fun trip going to New York and got to see Hadestown. Yeah, I lived in New York for 14 years, so you should tell them if you want to share. I'd love to hear some of the other things you got up to while you were in New York. Hadestown is great, though. I saw Hadestown just once, which, I mean, arguably is all you need. I've seen most Broadway shows just once, but I do have some friends who have seen Hadestown almost 100 times. It is a very wild thing. It's just like what they do. They go see Hadestown. Oh, Mikey snubbed Daniel Radcliffe in Every Brilliant Thing. Are you saying snub like refused to go see, or saw it and did not like his performance? I don't know too much about Every Brilliant Thing. For folks who have not heard about it at all, excuse me, it's a one-man show that Daniel Radcliffe is currently doing on Broadway. But it's not a one-man show in the sense of like, I feel like usually if you hear that, you imagine it's kind of like a memoir piece that like the person performing also wrote. This was like written by other playwrights. I think it's been performed before. He just so happens to be cast in this role. I think he's playing multiple characters. Oh, you saw it, loved it, you just didn't mention it. Got it. Okay, Hadestown got the mention in the chat. I understand now. That's great. Yeah, I've been curious how it is. I've assumed that it is good because most things Daniel Radcliffe picks to do these days are pretty high quality, often weird. I love the weird projects that he does. That is what one should do once you have money from a thing, like you don't need to pay the bills with your performing anymore. Just do the weird fun stuff. Oh, Door. Yeah, I want to see Beetlejuice too. I missed the boat on that one. I like sort of tried to see it a little bit when I was living in New York, but I love Beetlejuice, and it sounded like the musical is just fantastic. Sometimes I don't love, I say sometimes I don't love, I frequently say how this is my biggest pet peeve. One of my biggest pet peeves is 80s movies with good soundtracks made into bad musicals. see Footloose and Back to the Future. Grease also, I would say, counts. I think the stage musical is inferior to the movie, but it's not as bad as like Footloose the stage musical or Back to the Future the stage musical. However, Beetlejuice. So I was worried about Beetlejuice, but it seems to have translated quite well into a musical. I think because it was already more like campy than the other examples I gave. And that's probably also why Grease also kind of works. But like Back to the Future and Footloose were like cool teenage movies. And you can't retain that sense of cool when you make it into a stage musical. I'm sorry to people who love musicals, but you must know that they are not cool in that same kind of way. They can be cool in other ways, but not that kind of cool. But I think Beetlejuice, because it's like sort of sci-fi fantasy, and yeah, I think that's part of why like the comedy of it was really able to translate. Oh my gosh, I said his name 3 times. If I had the energy, having realized that, I would like play the song, but I'm too tired today, so that's not happening. That would be a fun alert though, to maybe have summon him somehow. The Death Note the musical. Where is that starting? I've heard a little bit about it. I think I thought that it was actually debuting in London. I don't know why. Okay, so other New York things that Joe and Mikey did. Boat tour of the harbor. And spent a whole day in the American Museum of Natural History. Yeah, you could do that. Love you trying with the command, Joe. One day soon that might do so. Although, is there a way to make it that nothing happens until that command has been used 3 times in the chat? That I need to find a bot that will help me do that, because that is the key. That's what we need. I will say my dreams of reenacting that scene were achieved a couple of years ago when I was performing with the New York Neo-Futurists, and we always have an annual Halloween show, and I pitched, without getting too into the mechanics of how the show works, I just pitched an idea, essentially, where someone in the audience had like a sign with Beetlejuice's head, and anytime they put it in the air, our tech person would play like a sound of someone saying Beetlejuice, and after it happened 3 times, the song from the movie blasted, and whatever we were doing in the middle of the show, we had to stop, and the entire large cast did the dance from the movie, like in the house and then going up on stage. It worked pretty well, but it was a lot of fun, and I've like said for years that I wanted to like host a dinner party where kind of flash mob style, some people knew it was going to happen and some people didn't. And I've never done that, but getting to do it like in the middle of a experimental theater show was very fun. Prince of Tennis. I've never even heard of that, Sarah. Prince of Tennis and loved the musicals. Huh. Yeah, wait. So was that an 80s movie that became a musical? Huh. Alright, so let's get the floss on here. Dorp, maybe you'll find a production one day where that is not an obstacle. I feel like there's a lot of cool, different, like, theater companies and casting happening these days. So I would say keep your dream alive for that. Or maybe, maybe there would be an opportunity sometime to just do part of the show in a performance. Like I kind of did. I just did that one number because that was the opportunity that I had in the moment. So it wasn't exactly what I've always dreamt of doing, but it was super, super fun, and I'm glad that I got to do it. Oh, Prince of Tennis was anime. Okay, because we were talking about Death Note the musical. Ah, okay. Anime is a, like, I feel like I hear about, like, the names and maybe basic plot points of anime more than the average person who is not online, but I still have never really gotten into it, so I don't know a ton. Like, I know Death Note by name, I do not really know what it's about. I know that a Death Note musical is coming. I don't really know anything else about it. And Prince of Tennis, I have never heard of, but it's a fun title. So this is, by the way, we're continuing on the red streak of 0 to 5 followers since the last week. But there were 3 new followers, and if you are watching now and you were one of those 3 followers in the last week, thank you so much for the follow. Happy to have you here. I have changed it to be anonymous follows on this channel because that's kind of how I use Twitch. I kind of prefer to have a little sneaky follow because sometimes I want to follow someone, but I don't want them to bring attention to my presence. So I figured I should offer that on my channel since that's how I feel about things. And so yeah, follows are anonymous, so anyone is watching and doesn't want attention but would like to follow, feel free to go ahead. It's also, I'm not shouting out the folks who followed in the last week, but if any of them or any new followers at any point do want a little shout out, just say hi in the chat or join in the conversation. You'll get a little shout out that way. And bam, here we have it. This week's spool. There were all kinds of letters that were going through my mouth that were not the ones I wanted as I was trying to say that. Foxco, hey, welcome. Hey, no worries about forgetting about the stream. I wasn't even here last week. But now I'm here, and you're here too. What a wonderful coincidence. Oh, yep, let's see. Got some anime chat happening. Spoiler about Prince of Tennis. They play tennis. You know what? In Heated Rivalry, they don't play hockey very much, so I think that's a fair spoiler. One Punch Man is an anime Deoxyribo knows. Not one that I have heard of. I think all of us who are here who don't know anime that much should just say, like, the one that we know, and I bet they'll all be different, because there's so many. Whoa, Foxco, skiing during stream. Skiing on a Monday evening. That's pretty great for you. Deoxyribo's reading Heated Rivalry. Nice. I've considered it. Especially NYPL's basically giving them away. There's no wait lists for the Heated Rivalry, for the Game Changer series at New York Public Library. Although my card's expired, but that's a cool promotion they're doing. Attack on Titan, I know that one. I also know Dragon Ball Z. I've got those. So couple of cross-stitch things. Ski every Monday and Tuesday evening for most of winter. That is very cool. Is it like skiing in the dark? I'm too scared for normal skiing. Skiing in the dark is next level. So last stream, I was working on the Wingspan containers that I've been doing. For folks who have not been on a stream for the Wingspan things. Wingspan is a tabletop game about birds and has lots of little pieces, as many tabletop games do. But the starter version just comes with like little plastic bags and little plastic holders. So I have been cross-stitching containers. So I have like some canvas bags, and I've been stitching. This is like the bird that's on the cover of Wingspan, and this little grid. This is waste canvas that'll come off. So it'll just be a nice clean canvas. I don't usually do this on stream because my eyes. I need to be really close to it, and it's a headache. So I've not been doing that on stream. But that's one thing. And the other thing I've been doing is making these little containers using plastic canvas that I am making to kind of look like birds' nests. And I designed the center things to look like the tokens in the game. So they're food tokens. They're different kinds of food you might feed birds. And I designed them to go in the little containers. So this is the grain one. And I have a nectar that's already in the game board, and it's up on a high shelf, so I always forget to get it before the stream. And last week we were working on the fish one, and I was excited to make lots of jokes about fishing and streams because of the stream. And an ad is about to start. So I will reveal the fish nest after the ads, which are beginning soon now. Now it says soon. It's the thing where it tells me here that it's gonna start. And then over here it's like, nah, it's soon. Let's see. Door has to go already. Well, have a good night, Door. I hope you have fun at the festival if that's happening before the next time you're here. Have a good time. Foxco, thank you for saying that they look very cool. This is the one I always show as an example, and I don't love the way I designed the grain, but I do like the colors. Soon is so relative, says Sarah. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave you all in suspense. I was gonna show off part of the Wingspan and talk about Wingspan, but there was also something else that I was gonna do before the Wingspan. So I might talk about that as I'm vamping until these ads start. Also looking up Prince of Tennis. Tom was an English tutor in Japan? Wait, what? I'm just gonna go while the ads are playing. And let me put this in the chat. And I'm just gonna go read Tom's seemingly very wild. Tom was the private English tutor to one of the cast members of the original Prince of Tennis musical. That's wild, Tom. Wow. I mean, to be fair, I had never heard of Prince of Tennis before 10 minutes ago, but to be the private English tutor to, like, a cast member of a big musical at all is, like, very, very cool. Oh, I'm glad to see that the sub badges are working. Okay, so I should use this ad time as we're all hanging out here, waiting for the ads to run, to maybe be setting up things. But I think this screen is mostly what I'm gonna do. I have some stuff I'm gonna do before Wingspan. So maybe I can start working on that here on this side. Sarah also taught English in Japan? Why are you all so cool? Wow. Prince of Tennis is campin' silly with catchy songs. Tom, did you, like, get free tickets at any point? Were you, like, invited to go to a performance as the tutor? I feel like you should have been, but perhaps you were not. Wow, that's so cool that we have multiple people. Yeah, deoxyribo, that's how I'm feeling. Like, that's very cool. Yeah, because I also saw Foxco Flames ski racing. Oh, Joe, I just saw your message about you and Mikey playing Wingspan last week to mourn my absence. That feels like something that I would do, too, of, like, if there's a thing that I usually did and it wasn't happening that day for whatever reason, like, that feels like the path of thinking that I would get to, of, like, well, I'm gonna play Wingspan then. Oh, I understand, Tom. Okay, it was after his time in Prince of Tennis. But that's cool, you gotta go to the other shows. That's really cool. Alright, I'm starting to look up the things I need to look up. But my computer is saying no, no, no. You do not get to do that. Dum, dum, bum, bum. Welcome back from the ads, everyone. Thanks for sticking around through those. Whether you were watching the ads or you were forced to watch me talking about not very much at all. But yeah, thanks for coming back, everyone. We had some cool discoveries in the chat that those of you who were watching the ads probably still saw. But Foxco, I wanted to just go back to your message about doing ski racing and that you do night skiing because that's when you practice. That's so cool. That's so cool that you're at that level of skiing. I thought you were just, like, casually skiing for fun, and that's why nighttime seemed a little like an interesting choice as opposed to, like, weekend daytime. But that's very cool. So anyway, back to Wingspan. This is the grain that I did, I think, before I started doing anything on streams. And yeah, I was so excited to continue the fishing puns this week, but then I got all productive and finished this fish nest. And autofocus, there we go. Some of it looks pretty great. Some of it's a little messy. The blue is a little overexposed on the camera. But also now you can see I've made the 2 different sizes so that they can stack inside of each other when you're storing them. Thanks, Mikey. Thanks, Deoxyribo. Oh, okay, I got some Limical started project on Black Ada for the first time today. Feel like you need the brightest light of all time. Yeah, I've done a good amount on Black Ada because, as you might imagine, I love Halloween patterns. So I've done a lot of like Halloween on black, and I did like an Our Flag Means Death thing on Black Ada. I guess most of what I've done is like skeletons on black, so I'm doing white on black. So that contrast really works for me. But I have also found that stitching on black, if you have a light coming from behind in any way, that can help you see the holes. I don't feel like I've ever actually set up a light, but maybe if I can sort of hold it in different ways. Like, I don't know if I would recommend fully setting up a light, but a light behind the black has been helpful to me. Oh, Sarah says similar thing, something white behind it. Yeah, that might be less extreme than a full-on light. And yeah, thanks Joe, thanks Tom for your comments. Ooh, ski racing. Cool way to improve skiing skills and makes watching Olympic skiing more fun because you know the disciplines they do. Yeah, I do the disciplines they do is what you said. But yeah, that's real. I've often thought about that with Olympics of like, not that I would ever think that I could actually do them, but there's just so many sports in the Olympics and they all have such intricate worlds built into them of all the things to know. And it would be cool to understand them a little bit more, like from experience, not just like learning as a spectator. Not in a way that I'm actually going to learn an Olympic sport. Just like, this is like a thought experiment I've gone through before. Desk lamp on the floor for stitching on Black Ada. That sounds good. Okay, so I will work on this next one. I assembled it. I did all the edges. I had some good like movie watching this weekend and was able to do that. I had a lot of good plane time recently too. So we'll work on that in a minute. But I think I need to update my book tracker. So I thought I might do that first. What year is it? 2026. So we got the book tracker. I got to 5 books, it looks like, the last time we worked on this. So this is a little miniature bookshelf that I'll need to put on some sort of hoop, which I did not think through that earlier. But I also need to check how many books I've read since we last stitched this. So this was 5 books, and we're gonna see if Notion wants to cooperate now. It's loading, and hopefully doesn't freeze the stream by loading. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I've only read 2 more books. No, I've finished one today. I've read 3 more books. Cool, so we can do 3 books, and I just gotta think about what genres they are. And then I have to pick out colors. So let me write down the names. Some of you may remember the most recent book that I had read last time we worked on this was Football Fundamentals. So we talked about football a bit. Ooh, Sarah, very cool. I was thinking about doing show and tell today. So I'll put that link in here. We'll do it more towards the end of the evening. But for people who haven't done this before, we've done it maybe twice before. All the information you need is now in the chat, but basically it is just a website called Padlet. You don't need to make an account or anything. You can anonymously upload a photo of whatever craft you're working on. Share the progress you've made during the stream. So if you want to wait till later in the stream to take a picture and share it, you can do that. Also, you don't have to share. By default, I will be assuming if you put something up there that you're okay with me sharing it on the stream. But if for whatever reason you just want to show me something and you don't want the whole stream to see it, you can put that in the caption and just say, please don't share on stream. But yeah, there's the main directions for that, and there's the link for you again, Sarah. I'd love to see the mods you made to the book tracker pattern. Oh wait, okay, that is... So have I just not been making a list? Cool, love when I'm not as organized as I want myself to be. Okay, so the books that I have read since I last worked on this chapter with you all. Chapter tracker, that's the word. I'm getting book words in my head now. Okay, Hamnet was one of them. Thoroughly enjoyed Hamnet. Been wanting to read it since before it came out. That was one I like almost pre-ordered. I was really into it, and then just somehow it passed me by, and then I was like, oh, there's a movie now? Oh, the movie's nominated for an Oscar? Okay, I guess I better read the book. Still haven't seen the movie. Need to work on that. We'll talk more about these books in depth, maybe, not in depth, but a little bit more when I get back to them. Right now, I just want to take notes for myself so I can get started on this. Okay, the next, I finally finished A Little History of the World. This is a very old classic book, but a nice overview of world history. And then, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hamnet I'd already read. We already talked about that. Football Fundamentals wasn't the last one. It was Hamnet. Okay, so A Little History of the World is what I finished. And then I read The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And then today, I finished Cultish by Amanda Bontel. So 3 nonfiction books. Ooh, okay, Sarah, you read Project Hail Mary. I've been hearing that people who read the book also like it. Project Hail Mary's up there on my list because I didn't know much about it before, but I like space movies, I like Ryan Gosling, and then it's just been getting such good reviews. And that's also good. I love hearing, even if I might not read the book, I don't know, probably not before I see the movie, but it feels reassuring, to hear that an adaptation was done well from the book. Okay, Limical says it was so good. Diaxuribo loved the audiobook. Sarah's got a friend who also read it and she liked it. Foxco's hoping to read and watch soon. Wow, love this Project Hail Mary excitement. Okay, cool. I don't see movies in theaters too often, but I've discovered a theater near me that I freaking love, and it's a little far from me, but I want to go back a lot more. I might share more about that in a bit. I just want to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this year is 2026. So I do think, well, and I guess I can look at the colors. So the last book was like a yellowish historical fiction. That was Hamnet. Okay. So, A Little History of the World. I think I should just have a straight up history category. So folks who don't know at all what I'm going on about with this pattern, it is a book tracker. It was designed by, do I have her name on here anywhere? Maybe I don't. It was designed by the Stir Crazy Crafter, and you can get a pattern for like 24 books, 50 books, 100 books. So depending what your goal for the year might be reading wise. And then she has some recommendations of how you can color code, and it could be like audiobooks versus ebooks versus physical books. It could be the length of the books, maybe how long it takes you to read them. I do it by genre. Sarah, you did it a different way that I had never heard of that I thought was very cool, but now I can't remember what it was. Sam's, welcome to the chat. Hello, hello. Oh, you didn't... Interesting little Twitch bug there. Sorry to hear you encountered that. But anyway, I do mine by genre. And so I am needing to decide what colors to assign to the genres that I now have. What genre is the Serviceberry? I might just put that under nature, even though that's not exactly it, but I think I'm going to read more nature. So I'm going to call the Serviceberry nature. Cultish is like linguistics. I guess I could just do broadly like language, linguistics, and then as the year goes on, if I need to add something else to that, I will. Okay, so I need 3 more colors. I think so far everything I've read this year has been a vastly different genre from the other. Like, I have... This is memoir, and then literary criticism, historical... No. Okay, well, these are out of order, because that's horror, historical fiction, sports, and then literary criticism and memoir. Like, just... Unless I was just calling it fiction and nonfiction, there's just like no other ways that any of these books overlapped with each other. Okay, let's get this on the hoop, and then I'll pick out some colors. So I think I need to take this one out. I rarely ever take this one off the hoop, but this is the hoop that I have with me right now, so it's what we're gonna do. Because I don't feel like getting up and going to the living room where I have my hoops. Okay, put this somewhere semi-safe in case we get any more subscribers and want to add to the shelf. I'll put this nerd hoop on. What are other folks reading? What have you got? Project Hail Mary, apparently. Popular one right now. And then the Library of Amerlin was the other one someone shouted out. If you're not reading one of those two books. Hoop, there it is. Wow, I almost want to like write that. Actually, that would be a good cross-stitch pattern, right? Like the kind that you keep in a nice wooden embroidery hoop when you finish it. But it just says hoop, there it is. The doing math emote's helpful for choosing colors. Yeah, might be. I have a little bit of struggle with this. Currently reading The Nickel Boys and lots of romance audiobooks similar to Heated Rivalry. The Nickel Boys sounds familiar. What's that one about? Joe's reading Cemetery Boys. I love Cemetery Boys. Part of why I love Cemetery Boys is because I like fall holidays and like spooky stuff. And I also am frequently asked to recommend trans books. And so I'm like, I love that there's a very like good, emotional, well-written, trans story that is also like spooky, Halloween-y, Dia de los Muertos. So I genuinely enjoyed reading Cemetery Boys, but I love more that it exists for me to recommend to people. Nickel Boys about a racist reform school in Florida and two boys who got wrongfully accused and met there. Okay, so I think I have heard of it. I'm not sure why, probably just on some recommended list, but like that plot sounds familiar enough. I think I am thinking of the correct book. Deoxyribo also loved Felix Ever After. Yes, Felix Ever After. Loved that one. Both of those books came out in my like appearing on panels with other trans authors days. I can't remember if I ever met Aidan Thomas, who wrote Cemetery Boys, but Case and Calendar and I hung out quite a bit, like in and around conferences back in the day. And Felix Ever After, just such a well-written, beautiful book. I also love that one because you get such good like New York City vibes, like New York City in the summer vibes. New York City in the summer as like a young person and a young like queer and trans person. It's a certain vibe, and Kaysen nailed it. Wait, Rogan, I'm sorry. There's a sequel coming to Cemetery Boys? This is how out of touch I am. Oh, that's so exciting. I have enjoyed some of Aidan's other books, but Cemetery Boys is definitely like my favorite of Aidan's, so very excited to hear there's a sequel. That's so cool. Sarah says, you know you like to book when you finish a 17+ hour audiobook in just over 2 days. Yeah, wow. Sam's was yearning for a page turner, now reading Hornet Flight by Ken Follett. That author sounds familiar, but I don't know that book. What is Hornet Flight about? This is an epic love story. Felt like the deaf rep wasn't done that well. Yeah, I think that book didn't do super well. I think that's part of why I was happy for Case and that Felix Ever After did so well, because yeah, this is an epic love story. Was, I think didn't do as well as they were hoping, and that might have been one reason why. That sounds like a valid critique. Okay. I am going to pick out some colors for history, nature, and language/linguistics. History, I'm probably gonna have more of. So I want it to be a color that I like, which usually means orange. Looking at all of my... This is not all of my colors. This is a lot of my colors. Okay. Did anyone else have, like, school subjects that you associated with certain colors? Like, when you needed to pick out, like, your folders or your binders for the new school year, and certain subjects were always the color. Like, math was always red for me because I didn't really like math. And so math was, like red is anger, and therefore math was red. But I feel like the others... It was kind of hit or miss, but I'm thinking history was often green because of like maps. So now I'm kind of thinking maybe history should be green, but I also think nature should be green, and I also already have 2 greens. Okay, love that I'm not alone here. People were very much into this as well. Science was green, math was gray, English was blue, says Deoxyribo. Okay, Rogan's a little bit closer to me. Of math was red, science green, history yellow, English blue. History was red for Mikey, science was green. Deoxyribo even used colored pins to write the homework in that color. I do that a little bit more now these days, where I like different aspects of my life are color coded in my calendar, but then also like on my whiteboard calendar or my to-do lists, and I keep all the same colors for them. Cemetery boys should have been graveyard gays. That's funny, Sarah. Hornet Flight is a World War II based spy thriller about spies and resistance fighters in Denmark uncovering the Nazis' radar system detecting British planes. Oh, that sounds like something I could be into. Okay, getting inspired. History was red for Mikey. History was yellow for Rogan. Honestly, what if I just make it like a nice brown? Well, it'd have to be a brown that wouldn't blend in with the bookshelf. Or maybe I make it like, there's a few blues that I really like the look of. Like, this is kind of a nice, like, really dark tealish blue. And I like that. I just feel like I'm gonna have more history books this year, and so any ones that I think I'm gonna read more of, I like to pick a color that I really like. So this might be history. 3799, and this is like a dark, barely teal, tan, like leather bound. Yeah, see, Joe, I think we were on the same wavelength, but then I decided that I didn't want how that, I mean, it wouldn't really blend into this shelf, but I don't know, I started second guessing myself, but I was there with you on that idea. Sarah, I don't think you shared a finished one, but I remember we all saw it after you left and were very impressed, but I think it maybe wasn't quite finished. Dark gray blue. Doesn't match my description of it. I think it actually looks more blue on camera than it does in real life. I think it's a little bit more gray in real life, but I'm still into it. Not that I'm like a beige mom, but apparently in this moment I'm leaning towards not as fun colors. I don't have any purples yet, and this is a nice purple. Ish. It looked better in the box. I might see if I have a darker purple than that. But that could be language or linguistics. And then nature, which I also think I'm gonna have more of. Like, obvious would be green, but again, I already have 2 greens. Maybe I don't have another. Ooh, but this is... Which one do I like better? For history. No, I think I still like this one. I was about to open a poll, but then I made up my mind. No opinions for any of you. I wasn't as indecisive as I thought I would be. Joe and Mikey are a very pro-purple household. That's fair. Sarah, I'm not sure what the good idea is. What did I have a good idea for? Sing my praises. Tell me more. Tell me more about how great of ideas I have. Wow, okay, so I just really don't have many purples. Oh, the floss color. Good, thank you, thank you. I have so many shades of green because of that Emerald City pattern that I've been working on for years. But it turns out I really do not have much purple at all. So that other purple might be the way to go. You know, one year I'll make a better palette for this idea. But that year is not this year. I'm trying to see if this green is different enough. I don't like this for nature. Aren't you all so glad you tuned in to watch me just very slowly pick out colors? I mean, then we have like wild colors like that. I'm not going that bright. That's off the wall. That's not what we're doing this year. So that's too similar. That might even be exactly that color. Okay, so I'm trying to think of... I do think I want some kind of... I think I'm going to go back to that other purple for languages. But I gotta decide what I want for nature. Maybe I can get kind of like a goldenrod sort of thing for nature. That's not super close to the others. What do we have? Oh, that's allegedly mustard right there. I don't think I'm gonna read a ton more literary criticism. So maybe that can be nature. And then, Deoxyribo, I'm so sorry you have to go, but yeah, maybe next time you can share your project next time. And have a photo ready to go. That'd be super fun. Have I claimed orange for something? What a great point, Joe. I keep talking about how much I like orange and want orange for something and have yet to do it. I think it's partially because, like, the oranges I have, well, are not in the box. That's one thing. I have that orange. I don't think that matches. Orange might not quite happen because I think that the shades of orange that I like the most don't fit with the sort of palette that I'm doing. Okay, so where'd this purple? Was it this? That's not really purple. I can't remember what I found. That doesn't seem right. Oh, it was in here. Okay. So this will be languages. History, languages, and then maybe nature. But I'm locking in on languages as 3834. Purple. I'm writing my key. Allegedly mustard. See, hearing that's allegedly mustard in any other context would be quite concerning. Unless it's a game of Clue, in which case, you probably hear that a lot. I mean, do I want to just go like a super bright orange? That doesn't match. But maybe a softer, like, creamsicle-y orange. These are the things I should probably do off stream, but you know, here we are. Could do a really soft, sagey green. Make a cross-stitch of a mustard bottle, allegedly mustard. I don't think I can cross-stitch fast enough to keep up with our inside jokes. That is one flaw in this plan. I wish I hadn't used that nice teal for sports. Because that's a nice color. That's too close to that. You know what? I'm gonna go... Where did this come from? Oh, I see. I'm gonna go kind of rogue. I'm making a decision. I'm going back to Joe and I's mind meld. This is gonna be history. Because I like this color a lot. And it could be like an old book, right? And then this is gonna be nature. I don't know, we're gonna say it's like the night sky or something. And then this weird purple will stay languages. That's what we're doing. Okay, so the dark teal is nature. 781 is history. I'm gonna call this dark mustard, since I apparently already have a mustard. Wow, okay. Time to frog the sports book and steal the teal. I mean, also, like, I don't remember what book it really references. I could just say that that is nature or something else and then come up with a new one for sports and put that in, but somehow that feels complicated. Dark mustard is Colonel Mustard's evil twin. Yeah, exactly. Very dark topaz. Ooh, good way to say it. Okay. Finally. Okay, so now, do I still have, let's see if I have, a little, like, credit ready to go for Stir Crazy Stitcher, or like a, will that work? No, okay, we're gonna stay here. Oh, it is actually dark topaz according to DMC. Nice, there we go. Ah, okay. After all that, time for a drink. It's non-alcoholic, but you know, it still feels like I need a reward after all of that hard thinking. So, we are gonna do a little history of the world in our dark mustard. To begin, I'll get the Nurge logo out of there so autofocus will maybe actually focus on the stitches. Choosing floss colors is thirsty work, but it is. The thing about, like, cross-stitching and so many hobbies is that, like, there's the fun part of it where you can maybe get into a flow. There's also all the parts of it that require, like, planning and thinking. And I don't know, I think cross-stitch so much is just a, like, let me relax at the end of the night while I watch TV or something kind of hobby. But then I get all of these, like, really creative ideas of things that I want to do. And so sometimes I'll, like, not do it at all because I am, like, I need to design the next thing or set it up. Like, there's extra work I have to do that's not just, like, pulling out my hoop and starting to stitch. Yeah. that's what this was. That's what, like, another project is right now. I feel like the Wingspan containers, I'm getting into a good flow, I guess I'll use that word again, with them, where, like, even when I have to start a new one, I know what I'm doing next, and so it doesn't feel like as big of a cognitive task to have to, like, start a new one. Not that this super was either. And of course it worked out that I'm gonna have the two yellow shades right next to each other. Oh well. How hard was it to undo the misplaced row on the fish container? Wow, so glad you remember and asked. It was actually quite challenging. And then I think I messed something up again after that. Oof, yeah. Well, okay, so the first thing I did was pretty easy. I might have even done that on camera. I, like, just very clearly could see where I had tucked the floss underneath when it finished, and so I was very easily able to get that out and just, like, undo enough stitches where I needed to then secure that one again. But then I could not find where the floss ended for the next section that I needed to take out, and so I just had to frog, like, so much more than I wanted to, and had to just cut things up. And yeah, I think I had blocked that out of my memory until you asked. That was not fun. That would be a great example of the, like, when cross-stitching is not super fun kind of thing. Maybe I'll try to get this a little bit more up here and see if it'll focus. That's a little bit better. It keeps wanting to focus on the higher parts of the pattern. So yeah, the book that I am stitching for right now was A Little History of the World by E.H. Gombrich, I think. He wrote this book in, I think, the early 30s. Maybe even started it like in the 20s. So obviously not the most up-to-date history book, although, you know, history, I feel like the shelf life on histories is a lot longer than in other disciplines like political science or sociology. Thanks, Joe. I feel a lot better about it being centered. Obviously a lot of like research and sentiments on history can change over time. So I feel like it's a good broad strokes kind of like world history for someone like myself who just feels like that's always been a little bit of an area that I just like don't know a ton about. It is still a fairly Eurocentric writing because the author was German, but he gets into like most of the rest of the world, and it's just like written in it was like written for kids in the 30s, so it's written in a very accessible kind of like narrative way. I forgot when it was first translated into English. It might not have been like until the 70s or 80s, but the author of it does have an afterword written in the late 40s or 50s, where he at least describes himself as like being from a Jewish family, and he just sort of says like, I regret that I ended this original book with so much optimism, did not imagine the horrors that would come in the world, which made me feel better reading it, because there were times when I read it where I was just like, this dude doesn't know what's coming. Like, he feels too optimistic about the direction of humanity, and then his forward kind of his afterword kind of addressed that, which was terribly sad, but also I think very needed for the text as someone reading this like almost 100 years after it was originally written. But whatever publisher in America publishes it now has turned it into a whole series. The author of this book is long since passed away, but you can now get like A Little History of the United States, A Little History of Music, A Little History of so many things, and I have not read any of those yet to vouch for them, but I did enjoy this one, and I am looking forward to reading A Little History of the United States, and I hope that it's good. Yeah, Sam's. I mean, you may be more familiar with this book. I don't know what the German title is off the top of my head, but it seemed like it was like a bestseller for a big part of the 20th century, particularly in Germany and Central Europe. But yes, exactly. We do have an ad coming up in 2+ minutes, just as a heads up for folks. I really hadn't thought that I was going to read Project Hail Mary, but now that people were talking about it, maybe I'll get the audiobook at least. Sounds like that's pretty good. Though okay, folks who were talking about the Project Hail Mary audiobook, were there like multiple options? Do any of you remember like who your reader was? Since you were all recommending it so much, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally like check out the version with a different audiobook reader and I don't enjoy it as much. Ray Porter. Oh, Audible exclusive. Oh, okay. I do not have Audible. Maybe I can do a free trial or something. It wasn't originally. Isn't that fun? I love the way distribution channels work right now. So great. I have been trying to get things out of the library as much as possible, and I was there today checking to see if they had like some TV shows that I've thought about watching, which they did not, but I think I could request them from other libraries. There was a more relevant thing I was gonna say with that. I don't remember what it is now, but basically just trying to get things out of libraries. Oh, basically just because, like, things that used to be on one platform are not anymore, and so you just, like, never be guaranteed where anything is. You've got to have, like, all the subscriptions, or, you know, sail the high seas, which I'm not as good at these days as I was back in the day. Wow, Strava gave away 2 months of Audible for free. That is a fun integration, you know. As much as we want to say any corporate integrations with their synergy are good, but I do like that one. One I don't like, I went to Starbucks today because I had a doctor's visit and wanted to get a little coffee frappuccino as a treat afterwards. So I went to Starbucks and they had Mr. Beast branded gift cards. It wasn't even exactly Mr. Beast. It was Beast Games, his like Amazon Prime thing. So it was an Amazon Starbucks gift card, and it was like this like mystery thing of like you loaded it with however much money you wanted, but then you opened it and had Mr. Beast exclusives or something. I did not like that integration. Oh, ad has now started, which is good, just in time for my rant about corporations. Tom says, what troubles me the most is when a streaming service makes an original series or movie and then removes it and it's suddenly available nowhere. Yes, that is what I was trying to get to. Yeah, that's what annoys me the most. I feel like HBO, in all of their different buyouts, they became horrible at that. Because I think it was... I mean, what I was looking for at the library was Deadwood, which was an early HBO original, like pre-streaming, I believe. And I think that's no longer on there. I'm not positive. But didn't they take down, like... Not The Sopranos. HBO took down another, like, very early HBO TV channel original and took it off the platform. I'm just like, what are you doing? And I know it's something to do with, like, not wanting to pay royalties, and for a big show like that, with probably, like, pre-streaming agreements, it might have been costing them substantially more money. But that's messed up. That's not how this should go. This is like arts and entertainment. That's not how the decisions should be being made. I don't like it. Sarah, I also worked at Barnes & Noble. That's cool. I don't remember anyone asking if we sold Amazon gift cards, but this was a long time ago. Maybe they did. My biggest thing was I worked in Barnes & Noble Cafe, and Barnes & Noble Cafe proudly brews Starbucks, but is not a Starbucks, even though we wore green aprons. They were slightly darker shade of green, and they said Barnes & Noble, not Starbucks. It was also more confusing because this Barnes & Noble, like, had previously been in a neighboring town before Barnes & Noble Cafe existed, and it was next door to a Starbucks. So everyone in this area was like, but I used to go to the Starbucks at Barnes & Noble and use my Starbucks gift cards. Why can't I now? And then we'd have to explain it all the time, why we can't take your Starbucks gift card. But if someone gave you a Barnes & Noble gift card hoping that you were going to read books, yes, you can use it on your Venti double shot vanilla cream frappuccino. I didn't sell books at Barnes & Noble, so I guess I really can't talk. But... Oh, Sam, I did not know Gombrich was Austrian. Yeah, I think as a German speaker, that he was, I think I just always thought he was German. I recommend the little history series with a grain of salt. The big grain of salt of sort of the historical context in which I said for the original one, and then a grain of salt because I have not read the others in the series, and I don't know when it sort of became a series. It sounds a little bit like a cash grab from the American publishers. Not entirely sure. Yeah, Sam's, that's kind of what I meant too. I was nervous when reading some of the book that he was not Jewish, but he is Jewish, and that made me feel a little bit better and more sad, just about the time in which he was writing. But he lived in Britain, I think, during all of World War II. But yeah, the afterword of the book is something. But going back to Barnes & Noble and corporations, just to not get too deep and heavy, yes, it was very fun explaining not taking Starbucks gift cards to 7,000 customers per day. I had gone there from previously working at a Starbucks kiosk in a mall, and while we did accept Starbucks gift cards there, we did not sell them, because that also was not a full Starbucks. It was a licensed Starbucks owned by HMS Host, which is the company that owns most of the food courts in airports around the nation. And so we were able to accept Starbucks gift cards, but we could not sell them. And people also got very upset about that, but that was more infrequent. That would be like one person every other day instead of multiple people per shift. People wanted to use their Starbucks gift cards, like even for books at Barnes & Noble. I wouldn't be surprised, but wow. Okay, so we have done the little history of the world, and now we are going to do one for the service berry, so we get to use the gray blue. As I called it, dark teal, and everyone was like, what? What did I say? Yeah, the service berry. Has anyone else read the service berry? Oh, thank you for saying the two yellows look solid together. The service berry is by Robin Wall Kimmerer, who you may be more familiar with as the author of Braiding Sweetgrass. She's written a number of books, but that book like really took off. Braiding Sweetgrass, I have not read. I've read some excerpts from, so I can't remember like what the subtitle is. But Robin Wall Kimmerer is she is indigenous. I'm trying to remember which tribal nation she's a citizen of. I think it might just be Cherokee. But so Braiding Sweetgrass kind of shares indigenous wisdom in various ways. The service berry is more specifically about reciprocity. She brings in a lot of her indigenous background into it and like indigenous relationships to nature. But it is sort of about living in a reciprocal economy instead of how capitalism is an extractive economy. But it's also good for thinking about like not just nature, but your relationships with other people and like the give and take and like that kind of thing. I forgot to finish this one, so we're just gonna do that right now. I really enjoyed it, and it's very small, so like if you've been wanting to read Braiding Sweetgrass, but like it's a bigger, denser book, the service berry might be like a nice little taster to see if you really like Robin Wall Kimmerer. I always forget if it's Kimmerer or Kammerer. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I felt at times that like, I don't know, I've been feeling this in a few books recently, where it almost feels like the thesis is sort of being like hit over my head a little too strongly, which is weird because I'm such a fan of a thesis. I like to really follow like how everything happening is related to the thesis. Oh, Robin Wall Kimmerer belongs to the Potawatomi tribe. Thank you for that, Melby. Someone else I was reading was Cherokee, because I was like, I feel like I don't hear straight up Cherokee too often, and so that was like in my head of like some author I was reading recently is Cherokee. Potawatomi, former director of the Center for Native Peoples and the Environment at State University of New York. I did know that. Whoa, Melby, that is exactly what Service Berry should have done. Town's book club discussion for the last few months and spurred a potluck night. Yeah, it's great. It is a great quick read. I highly recommend it. But yeah, it also, like I was saying, that book and the other one I just read, Cultish, were both sort of like, there were a lot of points in reading them where I was enjoying it because I enjoyed the style of writing, but I was also like, I think I get it. I think I get what you're saying. And now I either want you to go deeper or onto something else. I don't know, but I still loved it. And I have been wanting to read Braiding Sweetgrass forever and ever. I need to get around to that. Maybe that'll be one of the other nature books I read this year. Ah. I have not been looking at this pattern. The Stir Crazy Crafter does give you a pattern that you can follow. So you can like she kind of designed what might look nice for variation in book sizes. And I just sort of kind of spitballed it. Sometimes I like to change them because I'm like that's a big book. And I'm doing Serviceberry right now, which is a very small short book. So I don't think I want it to be that thick. So yeah, I kind of mix things up sometimes, and I just sort of go with it. Rogan liked braiding sweetgrass more. That doesn't surprise me at all. Like, this was not bad at all, but it also felt like I think even she would probably even say like it was a smaller project. You know, it's a more direct thing. It's also just sort of like there was definitely research in it, but just sort of like a musing kind of prose. Whereas like braiding sweetgrass is like what's the word? Almost like a manifesto, right? Like it is a dense book with so much going on. Serviceberry is like a nice little dessert after it, maybe. Apparently, I had my dessert first. No, I've read excerpts of Braiding Sweetgrass over the years. I think I own a copy. I just need to sit down and read it one day. I think I mentioned the last time I worked on this book tracker, but I've been trying a new thing this year, and thus far it is working very, very well, which is that I am trying to finish books I previously set aside before I start new ones. I'm someone who has a ever toppling over stack of books on my nightstand that I half read and then got distracted with another book and started reading that. I really just snack on books, especially when I'm working on different research projects and I'm like, ooh, I need to read this now, and I need to read this, and then I start this, and then I go to the library and I see 5 interesting books and I want to check those out. And so I sometimes don't finish books. Novels I will usually finish if I'm starting a novel because I go through those much more quickly. But nonfiction I have a real tendency to set aside. So I was like, how about this year? I was gonna push myself. Before I can start a brand new book, I have to finish one of the ones that I haven't finished before. So both A Little History of the World and Cultish, which is the next one I'm gonna stitch, were books that I started a long time ago and hadn't finished. Serviceberry was my new book. That was my treat. It was another way. It was a dessert book. It was my treat in between finishing other books. Okay, Melby's also doing some interspersing, alternating books. Interspersed difficult with humor, romance, fantasy. Scale has tipped more towards dessert books lately. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I would say I'm not quite reading. Oh, I think I'll end this. Oh no, this one goes all the way up. How many stitches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'll do all 9. Why not? I'm glad you agree, Rogan. I also feel like Serviceberry talks about dessert a lot, like making berry pie and things. So it feels, I feel very, I feel solid in that comparison. Because it also, I have not looked a ton into Robin Wall Kimmerer's other books. I know she has some other ones. And I imagine they're all, relatively on the same topic, but Serviceberry does feel like just, a continuation of some of the thoughts brought up in Braiding Sweetgrass, which is why I thought dessert book. Okay, so I think I'm just going to make this one, 2 columns, and then maybe the next one will be 3 columns, be a little bit thicker of a book, but shorter. I feel like I'm doing this book tracker so much, I might actually change the title of the stream, because I'm not doing Wingspan nests right now. So I'll say stitching a mini bookshelf. I feel like people might be popping in expecting Wingspan, and then I'm just very much not doing Wingspan. Sam's read Tales of the City series. Is that the French name? Armistead? No. It's like the LGBT California 1970s-ish. Am I thinking of the right thing at all with those books? Clearly I have not read them. Yes, okay. Thanks, Joe. Glad you're loving cross-stitch. Armistead Maupin. Okay, there we go. I can't believe Armistead was correct. But I was thinking it was his last name, but I was fusing it with Maupin. Yeah, Joe, I'm glad you're liking the book review cross-stitch stream. I feel like reading and cross-stitching are the two things I enjoy the most, so getting to do them both and chat about it with other people is very fun. Although on that note, I have not at all asked what folks are working on tonight. Some of you have shouted out a little bit. Joe, you got more cats going, or you finished the cats? Anyone else working on some continued crafting tonight? It's finally getting dark over here. That's nice, kind of watching the sun go down. I can't see the sunset through this window. We're past sunset also, but I can't see the sunset through this window, which is a little sad. But had so many winter streams where it was dark when I was starting to stream. It just feels such a novelty now to get to watch the sun go down. Mikey's knitting a striped sock. How many is this? Is this your first sock? Are you on to second sock? Because you did your first sock a couple weeks ago, right? Sarah is also working on the book tracker because you got behind. Maybe you already said this in the chat and I missed it, but Sarah, can you remind me how you are color coding your books in your book tracker? Because I remember it was something kind of unique, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, by length. Okay. And so it's kind of probably like ranges, similar to how I do the spool shelf or like a temperature blanket. Ooh. Tom is doing a Japanese temple and cherry tree, which means so much more now that I know that you lived and worked in Japan. But it's more complicated than you've done before. Oh no, spent 45 minutes trying to fix a horrifying mistake. I mean, that I feel like has been so much of my cross-stitching as of late. So I feel ya. 9 cats are done and submitted the Padlet. Thank you. We'll see those during show and tell later. Now you're working on a Zelda project. Nice. Oh, okay. Practice sock was last week, so now Mikey's got first pair of socks. Unless you run out of yarn. Oh, I hope you don't. I hope you don't. Sam, I forgot that Elliot Page was in Tales of the City. I knew about Tales of the City before the Netflix series, but not for very long before. And I think I meant to like read it and watch it. And wanted to just in general, but now that I have been reminded Elliot Page was in it, I think I want to see it even more and read it. I think I would definitely want to read it first. Fosco's just chilling, maybe crafting later. That's solid. That's legit. Oh, Tom, that's a risky fix. Oh man, I don't think I've maybe done that for individual stitches. I don't think I've done that for a whole section before, but pulling out 2 to 3 layers of floss does not sound fun. Okay, Joe, thanks for asking that, because I also was like, cherry blossom sounds a little bit familiar. Well, maybe I will get to my cherries tonight. We can have similar themes happening. Okay, so we finished the service berry, and now it is time for Cultish. Cultish, Cultish. A made-up word by the author of this book. The author is Amanda Montell. This book came out maybe in like 2021. It's a bit old. I started reading it not long after that. I think I got it as a Christmas gift from a friend, but I had already been wanting to read it. And I started reading it as soon as I got it and then just kind of set it aside. But I finished it this morning. There is actually basically a podcast version of this book now that Amanda hosts called... it's called Sounds Like a Cult. And it's usually like her and maybe a producer and sometimes a guest. And each episode they talk about something that maybe arguably could be a cult. So sometimes it's obvious things like fundamentalist Latter-day Saints. Or some of the cults that you've seen Netflix documentaries of maybe. But sometimes it's things like Soul Cycle, CrossFitters, stuff like that. Those two are both covered in the book. I'm trying to think of some of the more recent ones that she's done. Sometimes it's things you really wouldn't expect, but then they talk about it. They might go through some of the history of it. Maybe they'll talk to someone who's been involved in it, and then at the end they decide, okay, this sort of sounds like a cult. Is it something where you should just live your life like it's fine if you're involved in this, like you're not in danger? Or is it something where you should watch your back? Like, okay, if you want to do this, but you should be aware of some of the dangers. Or is it a get the F out? And that would mean something where you could really be in danger if you've fallen into this. And I think it's a pretty fun podcast. It's usually kind of up to date on things in the zeitgeist. And Amanda's background, I think, is mostly journalism, so she's a good researcher. Her parents were both like maybe neuroscientists, so she also has like a steady little bit of like scientific, at least way she was raised, like undergirding foundation to the way that she talks about things. But the podcast is pretty light. It's still like very lighthearted and easy to listen to. And I think maybe having listened to the podcast a lot in the intervening years since I started the book didn't feel like quite as revelatory or fresh as I was reading it. But I would recommend either. If you have not read the book or listened to the podcast, I would recommend either. Maybe both. She has a newer book that came out a year or two ago called The Age of Magical Thinking. And I really want to read that one because one of my favorite books is called Fantasyland by Kurt Anderson, a journalist who I first discovered because I thought it was really funny that his name was Kurt Anderson, because this was back when Glee was on, and I was like, that would be like if Kurt and Blaine got married and Kurt took Blaine's last name, and this is a real human. Melby, thank you for subscribing, or resubscribing. 1.5 hours in. Well, hey, thanks so much. I'll add you to the sub shelf maybe after we finish this book. Thank you for resubscribing. Very weird about the alert. I think sub notifications have been doing weird things lately. Oh my god, wait, I just saw a rapid onset gender dysphoria mentioned in the chat. Let me go back up and see what I missed while I've been yapping. Okay. Are Twitch streamers a cult? Oh, Sarah, I understand. Tom fell into the cross-stitch cult. As long as you haven't... Okay, I get it now. Hey, Ace, welcome in tonight. Hope you've been having a good time. We're working on my little mini book tracker, and I'm talking about some of the books that I read that I am tracking here. But yeah, The Age of Magical Thinking by Amanda Montell, who wrote Cultish, which is the book I'm currently stitching. The Age of Magical Thinking, I think, would dovetail really well with Fantasyland by Kurt Anderson, which is basically a history of the United States through the lens of magical thinking, which is just I can't define it super well myself, but it's kind of like people, I mean, it could be anything from like actually believing a little bit in like supernatural or superstitious stuff and kind of conspiratorial thinking, to also just like American exceptionalism and like believing that because you're a probably white American, you are deserving of certain things, and that America is just like inherently so much better than any other nation. That kind of falls under magical thinking, and that's a lot of what Kurt Anderson's book is about, of kind of an overview history of the US, like through that lens. So I imagine that Amanda's book, The Age of Magical Thinking, will be kind of similar, and I'd be excited to read that. Isn't looking at US history for magical thinking kind of how many people try to teach US history? Yes, and I think that Kurt Anderson would argue that that's part of his point. Yeah. 3 of Ace's 4 books this year were a Star Wars trilogy. Hey, that sounds great to me. That sounds like a good time. Does the cross-stitch cult become before or after the rapid onset gender dysphoria? Oh no. You're gonna get in trouble with this line of thinking. Oh, excuse me. There are indeed a lot of Star Wars books. I am aware of that. So many. I have one friend who that was like how she really got into reading as a kid, and she still loves them to this day. Are cross-stitch cults part of the gay agenda? I mean, I've been trying to get them on the gay agenda at all the committee meetings. I keep proposing them. I just need more votes, and then cross-stitching will be on the gay agenda. I'm working on it. The bureaucracy. The gay bureaucracy, you know? Oof. I mean, it is very easy for, like, streamers or anyone online to create a cult of personality. And, like, really start feeling culty vibes. That was an interesting thing at the end of the book Cultish, where she had talked about social media in different ways before, but sort of just ended it with like how much everyone has the potential to just so easily be a cult leader in our age of social media. Ace, yeah, come on, we needed your vote for that. Coming late to the meeting. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Tom, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker so bad. Speaking of gender dysphoria, I, for a little bit of time when I was like pretty much just out on a secret Tumblr and not like to anyone in my life, and I was trying out different names. Oh my god, I just looked at the shirt I'm wearing, and this is gonna be so much more embarrassing. But I was considering Luke for a while. It was before I watched Gilmore Girls. It had nothing to do with Gilmore Girls. But I was, and it wasn't because of Luke Skywalker, but I did at some point realize that, like, if my name, because my last name is Bird, and if my name was Luke Bird, then my name essentially was, like, Luke Skywalker, because birds are Skywalkers. And, I'm just glad I dodged that bullet. Cult of personality. Yeah, the Mr. Beast Starbucks gift cards. Yeah, Mr. Beast definitely built a cult of personality. I feel like Amanda might have done something about Mr. Beast on the Sounds Like a Cult podcast. Oh no, my floss fell off my needle. My needle fell off my floss, rather. Luke Skywalker is a very solid first crush. Or first gender envy. Or both. If my first name were Black or Blue. Blackbird, Bluebird. I think the most annoying thing when your needle falls off your floss, like after you've threaded it and when you've been stitching for a bit, is that at that point the floss is more frayed than it was when you started, when you first put it on the needle. And sometimes it's even gotten a little like uneven, and so then it's even harder to get back on the needle than when you first put it on the needle. And I've been playing the most mild game of chicken here, trying to finish this one up with enough stitches. right, there we go. Next 3 books added to the tracker. Okay. My hand is creating a shadow, so it's hard for me to see what I'm doing here. Hard mode, yeah. Yeah, it is curious when I see the thread get uneven, and sometimes I can see like where that happened, but sometimes I really can't, and I'm like, what is going on here? Ace, that's very good. Yeah, love those this explains a lot moments. Especially love, yeah, like looking back into childhood of like things that I liked or stuff like that. It's like, wow, okay, in hindsight, yep, makes sense that I'm queer or that I'm trans or whatever. Oh, I just saw Ace your comment about Abbott Elementary. I still have not watched it. That's another thing that I've been like, ooh, when I saw it coming out, I was very excited and like still have not watched it. Maybe soon. Yesterday, I did start watching Bridgerton, another one that I have been meaning to watch since before it came out. I think I watched 2 episodes. I don't think I got to the 3rd episode, but I was into it. I feel like it was exactly what I've always thought it would be, which is just like very much my kind of thing. Period comedy. Yeah. I don't think I have too much to say about it yet, except that like I am eager to watch it again. I'm like in that world now and I want to get back into it. I still haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters. I've listened to the music a lot, but I have not seen it. Okay. So this shelf, all my little tracking shelves, this shelf is done for the night. Thank you all for indulging me while I worked on this book tracker. I'm gonna get the sub and follower shelf back up for just a minute so that we can add Melby Toast's resub. And Melby, just want to double check because I got this wrong for someone earlier. Was that resubscribing for 1 month, or was it more? Because Twitch is just a little confusing with their language sometimes, so I wanted to double check that I'm giving you all the stitches you are owed. Yes, I come from the downtown. I come from the Downton Abbey world, so I know exactly what you were talking about, Melby Toast, and I know that that is not what I'm getting into with Bridgerton. The drama suspense they have, will resolve because they're ultimately romance stories. That is like one of the structural definitions of romance, isn't it? As a genre. Like in Shakespeare, they always say like the comedies end with everyone getting married, the tragedies end with everyone dying. So it's like it resolves when it's comedy, but I guess romance as well. Because the whole point of romance is like they get together in the end. So it would logically follow that sort of all plot conflict gets resolved. This is crooked. That's just what it's gonna be tonight. It's gonna be crooked. Let's put this thread over here. Melby, 7th consecutive month. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that makes sense to me. Ace, I really like that Wanda Sykes thing. Not planning revenge. At least we weren't talking about it at the last meeting. Maybe Wanda just missed that part of the meeting, like you missed the vote for cross-stitch being part of the gay agenda. Wanda missed the part about black folks planning revenge on top of wanting reparations. I haven't watched Wanda Sykes in anything in a while. I feel like she had a real mainstream moment for a while back there. All right, so we are adding a subscriber stitch to the subscriber shelf for Melby. Thank you so much for resubscribing. I need to start remembering that, like, the end of the month is when a lot of people resubscribe, which I am not positive if that is a billing thing or if it's because it was like the end of the month when I got affiliate and a lot of people enthusiastically subscribed right away, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you. But either way, I feel like, I don't know, I could start planning something a little special or something. But there we go. One more stitch for Melby Toast there. Ooh, okay, Ace, I was gonna ask if this, like, stand-up you were watching was just like YouTube or if she has specials on Netflix. Nice. I feel like a good Netflix comedy special is sometimes what I need after, like, a lot of drama. Like a bit like a drama show. You know, it's a good dessert, as we were saying earlier. Sarah, Ace, people, are we still planning to take over Denmark? I missed a lot of the recent meetings. Oh, Alora, cool, thanks. Ace says that as well. Since it happened to be at the end of the month, I wasn't sure. Like, it wouldn't really make sense to not be tied to, but yeah. I wasn't sure. Now I know. Well, thank you all regardless. The shelf is being held up, or the spools are being held up on this shelf so well now. Shall we actually stitch some Wingspan now? An hour 47 minutes into the stream. Let's get into it. Oh. I also, like, just haven't had that many normal... Wow, you really can't see anything I'm doing here. Damn. I haven't had any normal cross-stitching projects recently that are just like what I was just doing. Of, like, just something on a hoop that I'm just following a pattern. And so I got this stand that has been kind of nice for live streaming, but I, like, haven't had any personal projects that would require a hoop or a stand for a while. So I haven't really gotten to use that, like, in my non-streaming life yet. Oh, drive safely, Ace. Drive safely. And you know what? Ads are going to be happening for some of that time, so you're all good. Oh, yeah, Ace, I think that Sarah was... I interpreted it as talking to fellow asexual and aromantic people, not as talking to you. Oh my gosh, Melby, I need to watch Chris Fleming's new special as well. Hardcore need to do that. I'm gonna keep these in the shot just because it's fun. But I have to get the floss. This is the most annoying part of the Wingspan pattern. Do I have enough floss left in here? Okay, yes. So I chose to do blended floss to make this look even more like a bird's nest and made of lots of different things. So you can kind of see a gradient-ish, and gradient's not quite the right word, but you can see multiple colors coming through. So I'm mixing 3 different colors, 801, 938, and 869, to create that effect. This plastic canvas roughly works out to 10 stitches per inch. So the most common sort of beginner to intermediate cloth that you're going to be stitching on for cross stitch is 14 stitches per inch. So this is a little bit bigger, which means instead of stitching over 2 strands of floss, I am stitching over 6. So I'm doing, like, pulling 1 from each of these and then folding it in half to do the loop start method. So that's what I've been doing here, but it is just kind of annoying to have to thread these, basically. It's like anytime I have to start a new piece of floss, I'm like, ugh. But I did this to myself, and I do like the effect of it, so I will do it. I will moan and I will groan, and I will do it. That's how so many things are in my life. I just have to whine about it, like, the whole time up until doing it, and maybe a little bit into doing it, and then I'll enjoy myself. One of my more toxic traits. We do have an ad starting in a little over 30 seconds here, as a heads up for folks. And now I do have... Okay. These two other colors are fully fresh, which means I need to recut them the same length as this other one. I did make these extra long, longer than I usually would, because I just, as I said, got a little annoyed at how often I was having to do it. So I made them long. Oh, and you know what? While the ads go, well, let me make sure this is organized how I need it first. And then what was I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna change the stream name again. I'm gonna change it back to Wingspan. Sarah, yes, I am that unicorn. 'Tis I. That was actually it was just a portrait of me in that pattern at first. And then I was like, you know what? Even though I'm self-aware about this, I don't think I want the publicity. I don't want to be known just for this worst trait of mine. Could you maybe just like make it more like a caricature of me, a little less like accurate? And we went back and forth with some edits for a while, and then eventually the portrayal of me just like looked like a unicorn. Maybe it wasn't too many steps to get there, I don't know, but yeah. So that was actually about me. Thanks. Tempted to be like, do I just have a giant pimple on my forehead? Is that why? Oh no, Melby. I was really concerned when I read the first part of your chat message there of like if you were in some kind of danger with your ankle. But I understand now, it's just asleep because cat. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let me change the stream name. What are we stitching now? Not a mini bookshelf. Wingspan nests. Try to get the Wingspan crowd. Isn't there a nest emoji now? There is. There's one with eggs and one without. Well, that's really sad to have a empty nest emoji. Although I guess it probably gets usage since that's a term. All right, final of the 3. Try to line these up. Speaking of floss not being even on their ends, that's another challenge using blended floss. Trying to get them roughly even. We are coming up on 8 o'clock. Auspicious. Well, speaking of 8 o'clock, I will share the show and tell link for folks. So we might do that a little bit after 8 o'clock. I mean, we'll see, because I am just now getting started on Wingspan, so I might want to keep going on this for a bit before we do show and tell. But definitely not before 8 o'clock. Why am I rewinding all of this? Because if I'm gonna do more, I'm gonna need it to come off again. But I guess I should keep my workspace a little clean. When I'm just doing it like on the couch, I've got places for floss in progress, but there's always a lot of like equipment, and things just get messy when you're live streaming. That has been my experience throughout my adult life while live streaming has been a thing, of just like somehow you acquire things, and because you're like in hosting mode, you're not necessarily putting them back in their right place right away. Chris Fleming, yeah, I don't feel like I fully remember the Gale joke with Chris Fleming, but I am inclined to say yes, correct. And welcome back from the ads, folks who were gone. I was just renaming the stream and getting all my floss ready for my blended floss, and now we are finally doing the first stitch on Wingspan. Also, shout out to, I believe it was Joe, when I had messed up the fish so much, and Joe was like, why don't you do the brown background first so that like the circle doesn't get messed up? And in the moment I was like, that can't work. And then I thought about it more later and I was like, actually, that's super smart. So that is what I am now doing. Melby, yes, that is what I kind of thought. I was like, I don't know this for sure, but I feel like I associate Chris Fleming with a Gale persona. Oh, Joe, how did that hold the skein between your knees method work? I tried doing that on a plane the other day. That didn't work as well. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're doing full 4. Or a full 4 rows at the top here. Except I think I decided I don't want this to be the top. But also there's going to be 4 rows on each side. So I might just keep doing that tonight. When I was assembling this, some of the sides turned out substantially messier. So I was looking at them to be like, which one looks the nicest, where if like you wanted to place these on the game board and if you had them the design the correct way up, you would see mostly this side. And so I was like, I want that inside to look the nicest. And that would not be this one. This one is the messiest. So that should be like the back or something. Oh, good. I'm glad that it worked out for you, Joe. Glad to hear it. The method for pulling the loose end from the bottom, I will admit, I heard from a random cross-stitch creator that I cannot remember to credit, but that was not my own original thing. And I had not known it for a while. And when I heard that tip, it was a total game changer. They still get knotted sometimes, but it is not nearly as frequently as it was when I was pulling from the top. Okay. So, yeah, I think I want this to be the bottom, which means now I will stitch up a bunch. Oh, thanks for all the Rex, Ace. We can all use those. Fortune Feimeister for I don't remember how to say Fortune's last name. But I have watched some of, maybe 2 of Fortune's stand-ups, and I'm big fan. I don't remember Fortune's pronouns, but Fortune and Tig Notaro and Mae Martin have a podcast. Feemster, thank you, Joe. Is that there's like 3 comedians that are all so cool, and I recently learned they have a podcast together, and it's kind of blowing my mind, but I still haven't checked it out yet. Okay, it is Tig, Mae, and Fortune. What a lineup. Wow. Handsome pod. Oh, so good. Okay, you're all fans. Great. I need to listen to it. Trying to get biscuits at Hardee's. I don't remember that reference off the top of my head if I know it, but I can kind of already imagine her saying it. Okay, Fortune's she here. Thank you guys. Man, Fortune Feemster is just so funny. Tig has been on my algorithm a lot recently, because Tig executive produced a documentary that the foundation that I work for also executive produced, and Tig was doing a lot of press for it because it was up for an Oscar, and it sadly did not win, but it was very cool to see all of the work that Tig was doing to promote the documentary. And I don't remember if I've mentioned it before, but I highly recommend folks watch Come See Me in the Good Light on Apple. It was so good. I mean, it was incredibly sad, but also like not at the same time. Like it really leaves you like falling in love again with life, and also thinking a lot maybe about partnerships, like romantic partnerships specifically. And it's also very funny. And if you've ever been it's about Andrea Gibson and their partner, and Andrea's, what they didn't know it at the time, but became like basically their last year living after Andrea died of ovarian cancer last year. But I feel like this group has probably come across Andrea's poetry over the years, if not super familiar with them, because their poetry spread around social media a lot. They're really good like performer of their poetry. A lot of good videos that went viral over the years. Yes, it's on Apple in the US. Andrews, yeah, on Apple. Check it out. Very good. Let's see. Tig's bit with the chair on Conan. Okay, well, Sam, I gotta look that up. I don't know what that means, but I love Conan. Just also enjoying the more fortune jokes and anecdotes from Ace. Sam, I don't think this is how I think I learned that Andrea passed away like from my boss, but later that day I was working. One of the things I have to do sometimes is like check the movies we produced are correctly in IMDb. And so I was like in IMDb on our like pro account, and I got a notification of like a movie that you've interacted with or something has news about it, and the news was that Andrea had died. And I was just like, I hate that I'm getting a notification inside of IMDb Pro about them dying. It was just so I did not like that. I had a similar experience where I found out someone I had been in a residency with like years prior, and I had not kept in touch with most people in this residency, but I found out that one of them passed away via a Google event. It was like a Google Calendar event I was invited to, and part of the description was like partially a memorial for him. But that wasn't the whole event, so it wasn't even the title of the event. It was like, we're doing this little thing in his honor as part of it, and like I didn't know he had died. Yeah, didn't like that either. I am glad that like there was at least a period of time where social media got a little bit better with that stuff. Like Facebook made like legacy profiles and stuff, so you would stop being like Facebook suggesting you poke your dead friend. But now I feel like the internet is just like all slop, no more rules. So anything can happen now. It should refrain from doing those things, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's probably just gonna keep getting worse for a while. Not to be super downer. I think we need a lighter topic. We should go back. We'll go back to talking about how funny Tig and Fortune and May are, instead of me turning that fun discussion you were all having into one of death. Joe's first crush was Legolas. That's perfect. Let's talk first. We were talking about Luke Skywalker as a good first crush. Who were some other first crushes? Bonus points if it's kind of like a retrospective, like didn't realize it was exactly a crush then, and then later you figured out your sexuality and or gender and were like, oh no, that was a crush. Bread, pretty great. Bread is great. I'm eating a lot of bread right now because we're trying to use up the bread before Passover. So a lot of bread happening at the moment. Tommy from the... Okay, Sarah. So Tommy from the first Power Rangers. Mine was Billy from the first Power Rangers. Tommy was way too cool for me. Billy was my crush. Poster with Legolas as an ostensibly straight 18-year-old. Jessica Alba and Dark Angel. Wanted to be Jessica Alba's motorcycle. That's so funny. Okay, Sarah, I'm glad you made the correct decision by switching to Billy later. Also, I mistakenly thought Billy's name was Bill for like decades, and that was another thing my publisher had to correct in my book. I wrote a whole thing about Bill the Blue Power Ranger, and they were like, I'm pretty sure it's Billy. And I was about to be like, you're so wrong. I have so many reasons why I know it's Bill. And then I Googled it, and I was like, what? It's like a Berenstain Bears moment, finding out his name was Billy. Yeah, I thought it was Bill, and like, I named my doll Bill after him, and I tried to get people to call me Bill. I mean, maybe I just misremembered me and the doll as Bill when it was really Billy at the time, but I'm pretty sure it was Bill. Did I get any pop culture references correct in my book? I mean, I think not. I think that's what we're learning. Yeah, maybe I said that Catherine Zeta-Jones was in Shakespeare in Love instead of Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know. Why is everyone so amused by Bill instead of Billy? It's not... like, is it that funny? Sarah, I'm glad to hear that you had the gateway into crushing on nerdy, socially awkward characters. My brother made fun of me one time by saying that my favorite characters were just whatever characters had glasses. I think I was like 11 when he said that, and I was so upset because I just felt so accurately called out. I was like, no, it's not true. I like some characters without glasses. Bill and Luke. Yeah, those are probably the least cringy ones. Billy sounds like a cute young guy. Bill sounds like a 45-year-old accountant. Okay, to be fair, all teenagers in the early 90s looked like 45-year-old accountants. I think he looked like a Bill. Ace does have the correct reference, though. I saw Bill Nye the Science Guy at a concert once in Manhattan. He was taking selfies with people, which I think there was like a period of time where people were saying that this might have been the period of time. There was something going around on the internet of like, Bill Nye invented the selfie in 19 whatever, which is just, I mean, not true, but basically people had dug up pictures of him using a camera in a selfie-like way before phones and front-facing cameras. A lot of the 5 hero groups have the smart one as blue. Oh, favorite color switched from purple to blue for a while. Oh no, look at that rogue floss. How did that happen? Got a little single strand of floss that came out of the needle. Ace, I feel like that happens to a lot of people of like, you've got a crush on someone who has this like particular interest or hobby, so you try getting into that, and then suddenly that's your life for 20 years. Not the crush person, just the hobby that you got into. Oh, the reason I'm saying that is because that happened to me. I was like, that sounds so familiar. Who did I hear that happen to? It was me. So you all talked about your Luke Skywalker crushes. I was the exact target audience for Star Wars Episode 1. So I had a crush on Jake Lloyd, who played Anakin Skywalker. I mean, I will say all of my like male crushes as a child, I'm very skeptical about like, was it a crush or was it just me wanting to be them? But for the sake of this conversation, I had a crush on the kid who played Anakin Skywalker, and Nickelodeon Magazine interviewed him and asked him what his favorite book was, and he said Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I was like, never heard of that. This was 1998. I was like, but I'm gonna get a copy of that book, and that's why I read Harry Potter. And then that was my life until 2019. For folks who don't know, I was professionally involved in the Harry Potter fandom for many, many years. and have now broken Limical's brain again. Yeah, Star Wars is why I got into Harry Potter. Technically. Yeah, Ace. Didn't even know gay was a thing, didn't know it was a crush. That's real. I would not even be here cross-stitching with you if it were not for Jake Lloyd. That's the real cult origins we need here. Bill Nye was the guest of honor at a conference in a local salty town not too long ago. That's interesting that he was the guest of honor there. Very tempted to wander around looking for him. You should have. He was very chill when I saw him at this concert. And I have since spent time with, like, I was in a cohort with someone who was on his Netflix show, and so like filmed with him for several months, and she just had all the nicest things to say about him and said that he is like just such a chill guy, like especially for like an older white dude. He's just a very like chill, up with current things kind of dude, which I loved to hear. I was like, man, you love hearing that people have like, I was not saying aged well is not right, but I don't know, like kept up with the times and are cool people to hang out with. Did I accidentally like highlight? Okay, yeah, I did. Maybe I should start watching Star Wars. I mean, I've seen all of the movies, like the 1 through 9 and some of the other more recent spin-offs. I have not seen any of the TV shows, like the more recent like Disney TV shows, and I have not read the books. I mean, Allison, I think that's interesting that like you crushed on people with ADHD. Like, I think sometimes opposites attract in that way, of like some folks with ADHD end up with like super neurotypical people, and maybe they like balance each other out. But that is still very, very like interesting or amusing to look back on in hindsight. Yeah. Yeah, Limical is true. You only know me because of Jake Lloyd. I'm actually surprised you don't know this. I have told this story a few times, both in public and in private. Melby, you are so right. How every single YouTuber from a while ago has like come out as queer. God, I remember when I was like, I mean, I was never like a big YouTuber, but when I was like working on coming out as trans, and I was like working on the plan for it, or like, you know, confronting the reality of like, well, it's either come out about this or like quit this YouTube channel that I've put all this work into, and like quit my public life, dropped some floss. And it was just like really, it was kind of surprising the fact that there was no one who was really out. Like, obviously there were some openly gay YouTubers, but not that many, especially when you kind of watched some and you were like, you're maybe in the closet. And then in terms of like openly trans people, like there were especially trans men with, you know, like 200 subscribers who were making kind of more anonymous videos just to track their transitions. They weren't really on the like influencer level at that point. And then there were a couple of like really, really big people who were more like celebrities. Like Gigi Gorgeous was kind of the main one. And I don't know, it felt so weird because it was like, it feels like this would be an accepting group of people, all of these like YouTube creators and a lot of their fans, and yet there's just so few of them who are out. And then about the time that I came out, there was kind of like a whole rush of YouTubers then coming out. It was, I don't know, it was really interesting because it does make it amusing in a way to look back on and be like, oh, it's weird there was a time when so many of them were not out, especially because it like, it just felt like the climate on the internet had been a relatively safe enough space to be out for so long. I dropped that floss too. That it just surprised me in a way that it took some of them so long. And maybe it's because a lot had like Hollywood aspirations or something, and Hollywood definitely wasn't quite there yet. obviously, again, there were openly gay actors, but it was like very, very tough for any of them to have any other part of their like personality or talent. Like once you came out, that's all you were. You were just like the gay actor, the gay comedian, which is not entirely fixed nowadays, but it was a lot worse then. And I think that's maybe why some YouTubers took longer to come out, or things like that. Ah, Sarah, go make it to your workout class. Have a very good time. Thanks for popping in before that. Oh, Melby, yeah, great point. I look back at my group of friends from high school, and so many have come out. Like, there were one or two that were, like, maybe out to some of us in high school, but, like, our larger friend group, it blows my mind how many of us have come out as some kind of, like, queer or trans or non-binary, and just people who, like, they did not ping a radar in any way for me. I don't know if I did for them, probably. But yeah, it's really like, it's funny how that stuff works. And funny how you find each other. Ugh, what color is this? They're so close. I think it was this one. I'm really not sure about that. Yeah, we're gonna say that. Tom, that is wild. 3 people who lived on your street when you were a teenager came out as trans guys. I did have one on my street who was like my same class, and came out as a trans guy around the time that I did. And then there was at least one other for my graduating class with the same birth name as me. And same birthday. Wild. Really weird coincidence. Basically the same person. Except we're very different people. But yeah, kind of weird how all that happens. Gender affirming street address. And the water is turning the frogs. Oh my gosh, Mikey, that is very funny. I went on like one date with someone who came out as trans later. And even that is like funny to me. There's a chance we still follow each other on Instagram or something. But yeah, I forgot if she came out before or after I did. But yeah, we kind of swapped as well. It's really funny to think about. Oop. No, that's just my little scraps of floss that fell this time. Just dropping everything tonight. Folks, I missed 8 o'clock. Just been over here talking and stitching, and I missed 8 o'clock. Dang. Well, that's okay. I want to get a little bit into this, and then maybe we'll get into show and tell. So I'm going to share that link again, and maybe we'll do like 10-ish minutes before show and tell, so that'll give you time if anyone here wants to submit anything. I know we've lost some folks who I think wanted to share, but for anyone who's still here and will still be here in 10-ish minutes and would like to share, there is the link. Good night, Limical. Have a good night. Hope to see you soon. Sorry I broke your brain with the Jake Lloyd thing. And the Bill thing, apparently. You know, that's right, Tom. I was stitching during 8 o'clock, so that works. Oh, I think I saw a thing come in and then I forgot. Okay. Recently found out a guy I dated in high school has only ever dated bisexual women who came out after ending the relationship. Yeah, I've got a friend who he has now broken the streak, but for the longest time, he only had dated women who either came out as queer or trans men after dating him. And it was like a lot of people. Like people he had been in longer relationships with, but also just like casual dates and stuff, and it was just everyone. And he's dating someone now, and this was like literally on a podcast, so I feel like I can share without saying too much, but he is dating a woman now who is not queer, or at least I don't think she's at least into men. And it was someone that he like saw at a bar and then like found her on Instagram and DM'd her later, and her response to him was, bold move DMing a woman with short hair at a gay bar. And it was, especially with his track record. Like, what was he thinking? But it worked out for him this time. Oh, Allison, thank you for noting that this week and last time we accidentally celebrated 8 o'clock with Trans Joy. I'm into that. Good point, Ace. Yet. I think this relationship is going well, though. I'm rooting for them. I'm excited for them. But it was very funny. Just like, dude has a type, and it seems to be finally working out. Oh my gosh, you're right, Melby. 'Twas the night before T-Dov, and all through the house. Not a cis person was visible. Not even the mouse. I saw some kind of post today that was like, it's the day before Trans Day of Visibility and no one has picked me as their trans yet. Something like that. I didn't even fully get it, but I was like, I think it's pretending it's like Valentine's Day. Like, you have your Valentine, you have your trans person. Only, I feel like that's a thing only us trans people can say, is that kind of grammar with it, but yeah, I have absolutely nothing planned for the Trans Day of Visibility. I had all these reminders to myself of like, hey, come up with literally anything to post on Trans Day of Visibility. Did I? Nope. I had a bigger project that should have been done by now, and I was gonna do a little thing like as part of that, but that is delayed a few weeks. But I've been working on it, worked on it today, worked on it this weekend, and that is part of why I do not have anything for Trans Day of Visibility. Whoa, that's very cool, Ace. And I'm glad to hear that that's still happening. Like, I've known about places lighting up for trans colors, for Trans Day of Visibility, but a lot of those places don't do it anymore. So that's cool to hear at least one is. Yeah, same, Tom. I mean, I do love how Gender Reveal has rebranded it to Trans Day of Staying In and having a nice snack. I definitely celebrate that, because I pretty much always stay in and at least have a snack. Maybe it's not always a nice snack, but I always have a snack. Yeah, I have not checked in on what Gender Reveal is doing this year. In past years, they've done like quick micro grants, or like people can donate to like send money to a trans person to like go out and have a snack that day. I think last year their capacity was a little low, and so they just sort of like linked out to other people, because like other people are now doing their own versions of it, which is very fun. Oh, Ace, I don't think I quite figured out that your job is actually at a theater. I knew you did a lot of theater, but that's very cool that that's like actually your work. So yes, that would be a lot of queer people. Oh, Melby, way to go. Surreptitiously planting trans flags around downtown. Love it. Another thing, I don't know the extent to which it's happening this year, but a few years ago, Raquel Willis and Chase Strangio started the trans like week of visibility and action, and had sort of like actions that you could take every day of the week leading up to trans visibility. You know, things like calling your legislators, attending marches, stuff like that. So that could be another thing to look into. Trans Day of Staying In and having a nice snack, but also Trans Day of Action, very important right now. One thing that I do know related to Chase Strangio is that there's a new documentary following Chase's work as a lawyer with the ACLU and being the first, I think, trans attorney to like speak in a Supreme Court case, something like that. The documentary is called Heightened Scrutiny, and it is currently free to watch just for this week in honor of Trans Day of Visibility. I forgot what platform it's watch. It's one of those just kind of like random documentary streaming websites. But probably if you go to Chase's Instagram, Chase Strangio, I bet he has like reposted in his stories or something. But yeah, it's free to watch this week, and they're arranging a lot of different virtual events like online panels. I know there's like a youth panel, there's talkbacks with the director, all kinds of like fun stuff that you can watch online. There's a screening of it like near me this week that the director is talking at. I can't go to it, unfortunately. But I would also check out like local screenings of it. If you're in the US, there might be one near you. Oh, Ace. Okay, so you both work at a theater and do extracurricular work at a theater. Cool. I might just have to swing by next time I'm in Providence. Yeah. Oh, so during 8 o'clock last week, I was talking about the little trans teenager who got the lead as one of the like heartthrob lead males in the School Musical. It was like the ending of like a YA novel kind of thing. It was so great to see in real life. Kinema, but the link isn't currently working. Oh no, Joe. Well, thanks for letting us know the platform. Hopefully the link... You know what I would bet? I bet tonight was maybe, like, the first day it was free, or they're doing some kind of big panel, and I bet they broke Kinema. I bet they broke the website. Ace, I'm kind of bad at checking the DMs, but that is still probably the best way to get in touch. So do it, and I'll try to remember this week to look out for it so I can see. Yeah, would love to see. Cannot make any promises that I'm making it out there, because I do have... I am feeling a little overwhelmed with everything on my plate currently, but I do love exploring theater in New England. So even if I don't make it out for one of the upcoming shows, I would love to know more about the theaters and theater companies that are out there so I can check them out eventually at some point. Okay, so it does seem like all the trans folks wanting to watch Heightened Scrutiny broke the website, which is what, as it always has been throughout the history of the internet, one of those things that is both frustrating and like really cool when it happens to small communities that people like to discount. To just be like, actually, there are a lot of us, and a lot of us who really care, and we would like to do this. Thank you for saying that, Ace. I do appreciate that. Sometimes it can be a little tough to tell with folks online, and I hate to disappoint. But no, I genuinely am like I'm keeping a list of all the theaters and like cool theater art that I'm learning about in the area, so I would love to know. So please do send me a DM on the Instagram. But yeah, I am the worst at like checking and also replying to messages, not even from like people online, but people in my life. I'm real bad at it. Sometimes it takes me a year to reply to a text message. I wish that were a hyperbolic exaggeration, but it is not. Oh, how did it go? The best little you-know-what in Texas. Yeah, I remember you telling us a handful of times about rehearsals for that. I hope it went well. I hope it was fun. We're coming up on the end of this floss. We're also coming up on an ad break. When we get back from the ads, I think we're gonna do show and tell. So when the ads come, if anyone wants to submit something to the Padlet, the show and tell site, and you have not yet, feel free to do that. That's sort of your warning. After ads, we'll do it. I'll try to, during the ads, I'll get myself organized. Yeah, I gotta get my screen share working and just double check all the posts to see what we got and if there's any that I should not show. Oh, good. I'm so glad that it went well. Always a good high to have had a good run of a show. How do I remember to respond after a year later? I am racked with guilt every day for the messages I have not replied to. That's how. I mean, actually, there are a lot that I straight up forget. That is a big thing I'll do, because I'm the kind of person who, like, I'll open a text and I will think about what my reply is, or I will be like, oh, this requires a little bit more energy or emotion than I have in this moment when I'm maybe out and about and I'm looking at this. And then I will sometimes think that I have replied, and I will not reply. Oh, that's a fun term for a day when you sit and reply to all the correspondence you've been putting off, called a reply all day. I like that. Oh, I think ads are... they're starting soon. They're not going quite yet. Either reply immediately or a month later, no in between. I mean, that's essentially how I am as well. But sometimes it goes beyond a month. I have one friend who I am so grateful that she has not given up on me, like many of my friends rightfully have. But I have one friend, she will always text me, just like, you know, whatever it is that she texts me, and I will frequently reply, and then see that she had sent me something like 6 months earlier that I had not replied to. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then I reply to that as well. And I do feel bad about that, but I also feel so grateful to her friendship that she, like, doesn't give up on me even when I didn't reply to something. Yeah, Rogan, that's the smart way to do it. And I did that today. I so rarely do that. But I did do that today because I had a text that I had been wanting to reply to and I'd left it unread. And then I, like, opened my laptop and it automatically opened messages onto that one, which then marked it as unread. And I was like, I can't reply to this right now, but I don't want to forget. But I also get really annoyed by the little red circle. So I frequently will open them all. And they're all unread. Or they're all red, but I don't reply to them. God, I have the worst habits, and I'm really just revealing all of them tonight. I'm going to, while the ads are going, look at the Padlets. Wow, so many. Oh, but also, what was from last time? Okay. I'm going to just do a little bit of screen organizing while we, while the ads are going. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I think that should work. Okay, just gonna check if there were any submissions that people said they didn't want shown. I gotta remember next time to clear the queue, essentially, before I open it up to new ones. Okay, folks are almost back. It's almost time. Almost time for show and tell. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back from the ads. We're gonna do a little show and tell now. It is show and tell time to close out the stream for the night. I just checked and I'm pretty sure I'm good to share all of these. I think we're gonna get to a point where I am accidentally showing ones from last week, but I think I'll remember when we hit there. Okay, so this is Sarah, right? I feel like I keep mixing up names today. So correct me in the comments if need be. But yeah, this is the book tracker. So this is Sarah's version of the book tracker. Also, I'm just realizing if I go here, this is just my tab. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna go to other places in this tab then. So Sarah says the gold bands across the book spines are the number of stars I gave the book. Oh, that was it. That was what I've been trying to remember all stream. Okay, so Sarah's also doing the book tracker and color coding via length of book, which is fun. But then the gold bands on the spines of the books correspond to the number of stars in Sarah's review. I love that. Also, that like makes them look really cool. Those books look cooler than mine. Yeah, and that's a good point, Sam. So many books already. Wow. I cannot read that fast. Or like, I wish I had time. I don't know if Sarah's a faster reader or has more time or reads audiobooks or what it is, but I don't go through them that quickly, and I wish I did. I mean, I just wish I had a lot more time to read. I could read all day. Okay, next we have knitting socks. Is this... I feel like there was somewhere else where I saw the submission names and now I'm not seeing it, but I'm assuming this is Mikey. This is much more intricate. Oh, they're Allison's. Amazing, Allison. I was gonna, this is just very intricate. Like the color shifting, do you call it color work when it's done this way? I'm still learning about knitting. I did get a documentary called Yarn out from the library this week. So maybe by next stream I'll know a little bit more about knitting. Though then again, I did watch all of Game of Wool. I mean, and I feel like I learned a good amount from that. But I'm still not like a proficient knitting speaker of knitting. But it is self-striping yarn. Got it. Cool. Yeah, this is like fun colors for a sock. I would enjoy a sock of these colors, I think. It also looks different on my two different monitors. There's higher contrast over here than when I'm looking over here. Self-striping yarn. Fascinating concept. I know about like, oh, I forgot the term for it, but when it kind of changes as a gradient, but self-striping. Interesting. Okay, next we have Tom's Japan cross stitch. Okay, yes, this is more detailed than some of the other ones that you've done. This is also a lot of stitches. Like do you call it a temple? I don't know what the correct terminology is for that type of building, but like that looks like a lot of stitches just in that, and I can tell there's a lot more coming. Wow, the cherry blossoms are coming out cool though. What is it, like already 4 different shades of pink in there? I bet those are gonna look so cool when they're done. Oh, you did the back stitching first. Yes. Yeah, that would make it tricky. Oh, good question. Joe asks if it's gonna be full coverage. That would be so much stitching. It is. Oh man. Okay, this is a very ambitious project. Also makes the back stitching make more sense. That often helps on full coverage pieces to kind of give that outline at the end to make it pop. Do you know how many stitches it is offhand? I'm curious. It's a little hard to judge the scale, but I'm guessing in the 3,000 to 5,000 stitches, maybe? This might be the one, we've talked about having patterns. Joe thinks way more. I don't know. I guess I really don't know what the full design is either. Tom does not know, but we'll report back later. Okay, we're gonna find out. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a pattern for you that is like you go back to in between the ones that are maybe like gifts for other people or easier to complete. The blue shadow on the gate. Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I think that wasn't coming up as well on mine, but wow, that is a really nice detail. Good night, Melby. Sorry if we didn't get to your show and tell just yet if you submitted one, but thank you for popping in and for all that you shared tonight. Thank you so much. I hope you have a very fun week. All right, we'll keep going in the show and tell then, so folks can go to bed. Ramen, all finished. Oh, wow. I like the little faces. The ramen looks really good, too. I like the, I don't know, the way the color striping worked is really good. I was at a store over the weekend with a lot of like household goods, and they had a lot of ramen bowls where there's like the hole in the bowl to put your chopsticks. It was I did not buy any, but they were very tempting. I thought they were fun. And a lot of them had designs on them that are just very similar to this style. The egg has a sunny side up disposition. Yeah. Man, now I want ramen though. Did you have that problem when you were stitching this? Of you just like constantly wanted to eat ramen? Because that is how I feel just looking at it. I'm gonna give the chat some lag. Always want ramen. Yeah, there you go. Well, very, very cute little faces on the ramen. That's a fun pattern. Okay, now this is Mikey's sock in progress. And this is hand striping. We were just talking about self-striping yarn, but I'm gonna take a bet that this is like you're actually having to switch yarn each time, in which case this is very impressive. And what a good practical sock too. Like, I mean, I don't think fun socks are ever not unpractical, but this would be like an everyday sock for me, like in these colors and striping. I'd be like, yep, I can wear these socks no matter what. 3 different yarn colors, wow. Yeah, I mean, Ace, I will buy the instant noodles, but I love going to an actual ramen restaurant and getting like the good stuff. Yeah. Broad stripes. Heel turn looks good. I have heard that's a tricky thing. I do not fully understand why, but I'm with Allison that the heel turn looks good, and I know that that's hard, so I am impressed. And Joe reports back that the sock is very soft. I love that. You gotta have a soft sock. They gotta be nice and comfy. Can we still hear me? Okay. My hand dragged across the soundboard for a second. I was like, oh no. But I don't think I broke anything. Also, this looks so neat for essentially a first sock. I know you had like a rough draft sock, but this is very impressive for being early in sock making. Oh, and then this is, so I don't know if this was from last week or just accidentally submitted twice. Oh, because here we have the finished Hankler fish. Hold on, I'm just gonna hide that for a second so I can double check where we're at here. Okay. Because it is Sarah who made the Hankler fish, and now I'm realizing that maybe it wasn't Sarah with the tracker. Isn't this amazing? I know we all saw this in progress last week, but I just think it's so cool to do the little Project for Awesome hearts to make the Hankler fish. Which is, for people who don't know what a Hanklerfish or Project for Awesome is, it's just an anglerfish. But Hank Green had a big song about anglerfish a long time ago, has made a lot of content on anglerfish, and so sometimes we call it a Hanklerfish, and that's also, he will sometimes draw them with his autograph. Yeah, it must have really taken time, and I think she's doing a lot of them to be part of like a package that her and some friends are putting together for a Project for Awesome perk for next year. So I'm impressed in so many ways with this. But I also think the color choices are really good here, right? Like the way it's like kind of a rainbow, but not quite. They go together in a palette that I could only dream of based on the random colors I put together on my book tracker today. Yeah, this is really good. It's fun to work with Aida cloth that is dyed too. I've done a kind of like sort of tie-dye-y one like this before. I did like a ship in a bottle, and I did it on a very similar cloth to this, so it sort of looked like the ocean. But it can be really fun to work with colored cloth that way. Okay, do we have any other new ones? That might be... That's blank. Oh no, it was loading. Oh, right! This is the graduation caps. And so that, there we go. Very, very clean finish there. Joe, I think they did. I thought I was at the end, but I'm not. But I saw the cats before. You're good. We'll get to them. The little confetti. Okay, so this was Sarah making graduation caps for her sister or friend who's a preschool or kindergarten teacher. I don't remember the details clearly. But making one of these for each kid, and the kids got to pick out the color of the hats. And the hats were finished a while ago, but she's been adding the confetti, which looks great. It like really looks like a funfetti. Wow, these are so good. Oh my god, I know, right? The confetti really seals the deal. Like it's one of those tiny details that like when I saw just the cap, I was like, yeah, that's great. That looks great. And now the confetti's there. I'm like, oh, this is like such an elevated piece now. Somehow with something so small and so simple. That's great. And now the cats. Oh, and in a frame and everything. That is a good frame. That's a good frame for this and just in general. I want a good like sort of Victorian, almost spooky kind of frame like that. But mostly cats are great. All 9 of them. Now, do you interpret this as the 9 lives? Is this one cat showing each of the 9 lives? I like the one laying on its back in the stomach. On its back in the box, showing its stomach. That one's very cute. Bottom right is Allison's favorite. Yeah, everyone tag yourself. The one that I was saying is my favorite, I don't think is who I would tag myself as. I think I would tag myself as upper right. Upper right. Oh, Joe, I love that. I love that it had 12, but you were like, no. It's a cat. It has to be 9. 9 lives. Foxco likes top left. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Just a little butt sticking out. Tom's hiding in the bag, but peeking out at the horrors of the world. Deciding to stay in the bag. So bottom left, is that, yeah, that one? Or maybe top middle. I guess it could be either. These are very fun. Oh, and you do your signature in the... I've always thought I should start doing that, especially when I gift pieces, and I just never do. Okay, Mikey, bottom left is fave. That's a good one. Ace is either top center or bottom center. Yeah, I was considering bottom center. I like that one. Joe's favorite is the middle. Just turned away. But you're tagging yourself as bottom right. Bottom right is fun. That's maybe one of the more playful ones. Sam really feels the middle one as well. Just contemplating life while sitting in a nice box. That's really great. Well done on completing it and even getting it in the frame. That is always impressive to actually like finish a project to like finish it as in put it in a frame or however you're going to present it. I have a few pieces that are finished but not framed or anything. They're just sitting around. And then this was from Foxco. Wasn't on stream, but this is, I mean, people who can draw like this. I'm just like, I never got to that point of realism. This is so impressive. And is that like, did you say you did not say it, but is it like pastels, like the background? Joe says, thanks for not putting me after the... I mean, hey, these are different mediums, different media of art, so we can't compare them. But this is very impressive. Yeah, like charcoal with pastel in the background. Okay, I'm impressed with myself that I correctly identified pastel. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't taken an art class that included pastels since the beginning of the Iraq War. It was like 2002. Ace, but your cartoon characters are very, very well done. The texture on the hair here is very cool. I'm like looking between my 2 monitors at it. Yeah, this is this a like particular person if you want to share? Like person in your life, self-portrait, character, or just a person? Just give it a minute to get the response. But I do really like the colors of the pastels. I'm looking at it more now. It like creates a kind of depth, but also with the person's eyes being closed, and then those colors are kind of like dreamy, you know, it kind of creates that scape. No one in particular, but maybe slightly based off Ilya, you know? I think that's in everyone's subconscious right now. Wow, well, thank you so much for sharing. And also, you know, for the record, like, these do not have to be things that you, like, completed on stream. If it was like stuff you were working on that you're proud of and you want to share with people, that is all good. I'm into it. Oh, and hey, I think this might be from last week, right? But this was Ace's drawing from last week. You were just saying cartoon characters. This one was so cute. We had a lot of fun looking at this cute one. But now I know I'm back at the beginning, so I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I gotta take it away to check. But I think that was the end of last year. Yeah, we got a bonus Ace cameo there at the end. But yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for sharing your art and your crafts tonight. Oh yeah, good question from Joe of Ace, are you on to another type of Pokemon or just any other art after finishing that one? I'm gonna briefly look at if there's anyone to raid, because we haven't raided in a while. So let's see. And as I look, we can be maybe thinking about a raid message. I feel like we had so many inside jokes at the beginning of the stream, and now I do not remember what those were. Something about hoops. Hoop, there it is. Oh no. Now my monitor's not working. Ace, yeah, go for it. I'm cool with that. Prefer the asking of permission, but I'm all good with that. Joe's heading out. Have a good night, Joe. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, hoop, there it is. That can be our raid message if my computer cooperates. Ah, there it is. Okay, great. Let's see who got a low energy vibes crocheter. Have we rated them before? They're also currently playing Fallout Boy, which is fun. Oh, yeah, here, I can allow you, Ace. Sorry, I was looking at the other screen. Good night, Mikey. Have a happy Monday. Yeah, I said allow. I'm not sure if it went through, but yeah, folks who want to see more of Ace's drawings can go to Ace's Twitch and find the links there. Yes, Foxco, show us some crochet next week. That would be great. And in that vein, I think maybe we'll raid this person who's crocheting some kind of 3D something that looks cool. So this is Crafty Cat EVP. And they're lurker friendly, LGBTQIA plus friendly, low energy vibes, which I feel like since we've all been on for a while is maybe good. Good night, Sam. Have a good night. Have a good night. I'm gonna get this raid set up to go for anyone who's sticking around and isn't ready to be done watching Twitch just yet. Rogan, ooh, Spelljammer session. That sounds fun. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it sounds fun to me. But have a good night. Thank you for coming. Thanks for popping in. Nope, come on. Come on, Twitch. You can do it. Oh, D&D in space. That's cool. All right. Yeah, have fun. Have fun with that and enjoy the good Seattle weather or Washington weather. All right. So we are going to raid Crafty Cat EVP. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with me tonight and doing my various different crafts with me tonight and for sharing all of yours and your art. It was very fun to see. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna start raiding Crafty Cat EVP. Anyone who wants to raid in, our raid message is gonna be Hoop, there it is. Hoop, there it is. Gonna hit the raid button once it counts down. 3, 2, 1. Bye everyone.